The huge alien ship hung in the sky above New York City. It was almost as big as Central Park, with lights that shifted from blue to green. People stood in streets, looking up with mouths open. Some felt fear, others excitement. No one knew what was coming next. After 3 days of silence, the aliens finally sent a message. "We come in peace. We are the Galactic Council. We wish to speak with Earth's leaders." World leaders gathered quickly at the United Nations. Security was tight. The air felt heavy with tension. Everyone knew that today would change human history forever. The aliens who walked into the UN building looked almost human, but with key differences. Their skin had a slight purple tint. Their eyes were larger, with no whites, just deep pools of dark blue. They stood taller than most humans, with thin bodies and long fingers. "We welcome you to Earth," said the UN Secretary General, trying to hide her nervousness. The head alien, who called himself Ambassador Sornak, smiled. His teeth were perfectly white and straight. "We bring you greetings from the Galactic Council, a peaceful union of 217 advanced species. We have watched your world for some time. You have reached a level where we can welcome you into our community." Images appeared on the wall behind him. Beautiful alien cities, strange ships traveling through space, worlds that looked like paradise. "We offer you membership as a protected species. We will give you some of our technology. We will defend your world. In return, you will follow Council laws and allow us to guide your development for the next 300 years. This is our standard offer for young species. All others have accepted with gratitude." The room was quiet. The human diplomats looked at each other. Then something unexpected happened. The American representative started to laugh. Not just a small laugh, but a big, loud laugh that echoed through the chamber. Soon, the Russian representative joined in. Then the Chinese. Within moments, most of the human delegation was laughing. Ambassador Xornak's smile disappeared. His face showed confusion, then alarm. "Is something wrong with our offer?" he asked. The Secretary General, who had managed not to laugh, cleared her throat. "Ambassador, humanity appreciates your visit, but we must decline your generous offer. Earth will remain independent." Xornak's mouth opened in shock. "But this is impossible. No species has ever rejected Council membership. The benefits are enormous." "Nevertheless, we decline," said the Secretary General. "Humans prefer to make their own path." The human delegation stood up and walked out of the room, leaving the aliens staring in disbelief. Within hours, footage of the meeting spread across the galaxy. Alien species watched in shock as humans laughed at and then rejected the mighty Galactic Council. Nothing like this had happened in the Council's 50,000-year history. In the Council's central meeting chamber on a distant world, panic spread among the alien leaders. "What do we do now?" asked a senior Council member, their voice shaking. Their response was not in any of our prediction models. The head counselor looked troubled. "We must understand these humans better. They are different, possibly dangerous. We need a new approach." Meanwhile, on Earth, humans were already making plans, not to hide or prepare for conflict, but to reach the stars on their own terms. The great council chamber was in chaos. Voices echoed off the high ceilings as representatives from hundreds of alien species argued. Ambassador Xornak stood in the center, facing the harsh questions of the council leaders. "How could you fail so completely?" asked head counselor Ziv, her 6 eyes blinking in annoyance. "No species has ever rejected our offer. Not in 50,000 years. Xornak lowered his head. "The humans are different. They laughed at us. They did not even consider our offer." "Show us everything about these humans," Ziv commanded. "We must understand them." The lights dimmed. On giant screens around the chamber, images of Earth appeared. The council watched in silence as human history played before them. They saw wars, many wars. They saw humans fighting each other over land, religion, resources, and sometimes for no clear reason at all. So violent, whispered one council member. Like the Krell before they destroyed themselves. But then they saw something else. After each war, humans rebuilt. They made art. They created music. They advanced. This makes no sense, said Ziv. Their technology is advancing too quickly. An analyst stepped forward. Most species take thousands of years to go from simple tools to space travel. Humans did it in less than 10,000 years. And look at this. The screen showed more recent history. Computers. The internet. Medicine. Space exploration. The last 100 Earth years show more advancement than the previous 1,000. They are accelerating. The council members shifted uncomfortably. This was not normal. This was not safe. And there's more, the analyst continued. When other species face hardship, they slow down. When humans face problems, they speed up. They seem to enjoy challenges. The chamber fell silent as this fact sank in. Our first contact was a challenge to them, Orcs realized. And they responded by rejecting us. Not out of fear, but because they want to solve their own problems. Senior council member Xantor, known for his wisdom, spoke up. Perhaps we approached them wrongly. We treated them like all young species, but humans are not like others. What do you suggest? Asked Ziv. A new diplomatic mission. Better terms. Treat them more as equals, not as children. The council voted and agreed. A new mission would go to Earth with a better offer. Surely humans would act rationally when presented with greater benefits. Meanwhile on Earth, humans were not waiting. In research labs around the world, scientists studied the small bits of alien technology they had observed during the council's visit. They were already developing new theories, new approaches. In a secret facility beneath the Rocky Mountains, Dr. Sarah Chen looked at test results with excitement. Their ship uses some kind of gravity manipulation, but their approach is so conservative. I think we can do better. Her colleague nodded. They'd had thousands of years to perfect their technology, but they seem stuck in old thinking. No innovation. Dr. Chen smiled. That's where humans are different. We never stop questioning. We never accept good enough. Across Earth, similar scenes played out. Humans weren't intimidated by alien technology. They were inspired by it, challenged by it. And as the council prepared their new diplomatic mission, they had no idea that humans were already preparing to change the rules of the game entirely. 1 month after the first meeting, the council's ships returned to Earth. This time, they'd brought their most experienced diplomat, Ambassador Vreltak. Unlike Orcs, Vreltak had negotiated with over 50 different species. He never failed. The meeting took place in a large room at the United Nations building. The walls were lined with flags from Earth's nations. The air felt tense but hopeful. Ambassador Vreltak smiled at the human delegation. Friends, I believe there was a misunderstanding during our first visit. We did not properly explain the benefits of joining the Galactic Council. He pressed a button on his wrist. A hologram appeared in the center of the room, showing beautiful alien cities, advanced medical technology, and clean energy systems. We offer you immediate access to medical technology that will extend human life by 50 years. We offer energy systems that will end pollution on your planet. We offer defense against any threat in the galaxy. His voice was smooth, confident. All we ask is that you accept our guidance for a mere 100 years, not 300 as previously stated. The human delegates looked at each other. Then Dr. Sarah Chen, now appointed as Earth's ambassador, stood up. She was small compared to the tall alien, but her voice was strong. We thank the Council for their improved offer, she said. However, Earth has a counter-proposal. Vreltak blinked in surprise. No young species had ever made a counter-proposal before. Ambassador Chen continued. Earth will join the Galactic Council, but not as a protected species. We will join as a full voting member, equal to the founding races. The alien's mouth opened in shock. That is impossible. You are too young. Council law states a species must have at least 10,000 years of space travel history to be a full member. Chen smiled. Rules can be changed. They have stood for 50,000 years. Vreltak's voice rose. What you ask is without precedent. Perhaps it's time for new precedents, Chen replied calmly. If the Council cannot accept our terms, then Earth will continue on its own path. We are already exploring our solar system, and soon we will reach beyond. Without Council permission, Vreltak was now visibly upset. That would violate galactic law. Chen shrugged. Laws that we never agreed to don't apply to us. As if on cue, a human aide whispered something in Chen's ear. She nodded and turned back to the alien. In fact, I've just been informed that our first interstellar probe has left our solar system. We're going to the stars with or without the Council's blessing. Vreltak's translator device couldn't keep up with his rapid, distressed speech. The human delegation watched as the alien diplomats huddled together, speaking frantically. Finally, Vreltak faced Chen again. This meeting is over. The Council will consider your position. As the aliens hurried out, Chen heard one of them say, "This has never happened before. The elder races will panic." After the aliens left, the human delegates celebrated. They had stood their ground. "Do you think they'll accept our terms?" a delegate asked Chen. She shook her head. "No, but that's not the point. We showed them that humans won't be controlled, and while they're busy arguing in their council chambers, we'll be reaching for the stars." On their ship, the alien diplomats prepared an emergency message to the Council. For the first time in their history, they had no idea what to do next. "We must learn more about these humans," Head Counselor Ziv announced to the secret committee. "Their behavior is too unpredictable. They could be dangerous." The committee met in a small, secure room deep within the Council headquarters. Only the most trusted members were present. "I propose we create an observation station near Earth," said Exantor. "Hidden, of course. We will watch them closely." 2 weeks later, a small Council ship quietly entered Earth's solar system. It hid behind Mars, using special technology to stay invisible to Earth's sensors. The ship carried 12 of the Council's best scientists and observers. "Record everything," ordered Commander Liss, the leader of the mission. "Every transmission, every ship movement, everything." The aliens watched Earth with growing concern. Human ships were now regularly traveling to the Moon and Mars. Some were heading toward Jupiter and Saturn, and they were using technology that looked different. "Their ships don't use standard gravity drives," noted Science Officer Plex, her eyes wide with surprise. "They're using some kind of, I don't even know what to call it." Commander Liss looked at the data. "This approach to space travel. No Council race ever tried this method." Day after day, the observation team sent reports back to the Council. Each report caused more alarm. "The humans are advancing too quickly," Ziv told the full Council. "Since learning about alien life, their technology development has increased by 300%. They're taking completely different paths than any species we've ever seen." On the observation ship, the aliens continued their work. They intercepted human communications, studied their ships, and analyzed their technology. "They keep trying new things," Plex told Commander Liss one day. "When something fails, they don't give up. They try again with a different approach. It's exhausting to watch." "Most species find one good solution and stick with it," Liss replied. "Humans seem to enjoy finding multiple solutions to the same problem." Their conversation was interrupted by an alert. A new human ship had launched from Earth. It was bigger than any previous vessel. "Where is it going?" asked Liss. Plex checked her instruments. "Based on its course, it's heading towards Alpha Centauri. They're attempting interstellar travel already." "Impossible," whispered Liss. "They shouldn't have that capability for at least 50 more years." But the data didn't lie. The human ship accelerated to speeds the observers thought impossible for Earth technology. "We need to report this immediately," Liss said. The humans aren't just developing differently. They're developing faster than any species we've ever encountered. As the report reached the council, panic spread. The carefully maintained order of the galaxy was being challenged by these unpredictable humans. Meanwhile, in a laboratory on Earth, Dr. Chen held a small device in her hand. It contained the plans for a new type of space drive, one that would make travel between stars as easy as travel between planets. "The council thinks we need their help," she said to her team. "But we're already moving beyond what they can imagine." The team cheered as the test results came in. Success! Humanity was about to take another leap forward, and the watching aliens had no idea what was coming next. The Vextil were a small race within the Galactic Council. Known for their pride and military power, they watched the reports about humans with growing anger. "These humans showed disrespect to the Council," said Commander Zexval to his crew. "They need to learn their place in the galaxy." Without Council permission, 5 Vextil warships entered the solar system. Large and threatening, they positioned themselves near Jupiter, where humans had established a research station. "Humans of Earth," Zexval broadcast, "you have violated Council law by exploring space without permission. Return to your planet immediately, or face consequences." On Earth, leaders gathered quickly in an emergency meeting. Military commanders wanted to retreat. Politicians wanted to negotiate. But Dr. Chen had a different idea. "We show them what humans can do," she said simply. 20 minutes later, 10 small Earth ships appeared near Jupiter. They were much smaller than the Vextil vessels. Zexval laughed when he saw them. "Those tiny ships pose no threat to us. Prepare to teach these humans a lesson." The Vextil ships powered up their weapons, but before they could fire, something strange happened. The human ships released hundreds of small devices. These devices surrounded the alien vessels, creating a web of energy. "What is this?" Zexval demanded. "Fire weapons." But nothing happened. Their weapons wouldn't work. Their engines shut down. Even life support systems began to fail. "Emergency power only," reported a Vextil officer, panic in his voice. "All systems disabled." A message came from the lead human ship. "Vextil vessels, your ships have been neutralized without harm to your crews. You will be escorted out of our solar system. If you return without invitation, the response will not be as gentle." The entire battle, if it could be called that, lasted less than 5 minutes. On the Council observation ship, Commander Liss watched with horror. They disabled 5 top-class warships without firing a single destructive shot. How is this possible? Science Officer Plex studied the readings. The humans use technology we've never seen before, something that disrupts energy systems without destroying them. It's brilliant and terrifying. News of the incident spread quickly through the galaxy. The mighty Vextil, humiliated, their ships towed back to their territory by human vessels. In the council chamber, chaos erupted. "The humans must be stopped," shouted some members. "We should make peace with them," argued others. Head Counselor Zib tried to maintain order. "We must contact Earth immediately and demand an explanation." But when they tried to communicate with Earth, they received only a simple message: "The Sol system is sovereign human territory. All visitors must request permission before entering. We have no further comment at this time." Fear spread through the Council worlds. Video of the Jupiter incident played on screens across the galaxy. Species that had felt safe for thousands of years suddenly felt vulnerable. "What if the humans decide to expand beyond their system?" whispered nervous citizens. Meanwhile, on Earth, Dr. Chen looked at the data from the Jupiter defense. The technology worked better than expected, she told the world leaders. "We can protect ourselves from any threat the Council might send." For the first time in its long history, the Galactic Council faced a young species that wasn't afraid of them, and they had no idea what to do next. Jorlath was a quiet, thoughtful alien. For 200 years, he worked in the Council archives, organizing and studying the records of thousands of years of galactic history. Most people forgot he existed. But Jorlath never forgot anything, and something about the humans bothered him. "They remind me of something," he muttered to himself as he searched through ancient records that few had ever seen. Deep in the archives, in a section marked Restricted, Jor-Laf found what he was looking for. Records of the precursors, the mysterious beings who came before the Council, who spread knowledge across the galaxy and then disappeared. His many-fingered hands trembled as he read. "It cannot be," he whispered. The records showed that the precursors had visited a small blue planet long ago, a planet called Earth. Jor-Laf copied the information and left the archives quietly. He hesitated only briefly before sending the data to a friend who worked in Galactic news. 2 days later, the information spread across every world in the Council. Earth was not just a random young planet. It had been visited by the precursors. Perhaps the humans had been given special knowledge. The Council exploded into 2 groups. One group, led by the oldest races, demanded that Earth be sealed off immediately. "They are too dangerous," shouted the Vextil representative, still angry about the Jupiter incident. "We should surround their system with warships and force them to submit." The other group, mostly younger species, saw opportunity instead of threat. "We should make alliances with the humans," argued Exantor. "Their different thinking could help us all advance." Across the galaxy, individual species began making their own plans. Some sent secret messages to Earth, offering private alliances. Others prepared their defenses, fearing human expansion. The Council, united for 50,000 years, was fracturing. On Earth, Dr. Chen received the information about the precursors with great interest. "This explains the strange ruins we found under the Pacific Ocean last year," she told the world leaders. "We thought they were from an ancient Earth civilization, but they were too advanced." "What does this mean for us?" asked the Secretary General. Chen smiled. "It means we have friends out there we didn't know about, and it means the Council fears us even more now." In a small chamber, the head counselor Ziv met with her most trusted advisors. "The situation is worse than we thought," she said. "The humans now know about their connection to the precursors. Half our members want to ally with them. Half want to attack them. We stand on the edge of civil war." An advisor spoke up. "Perhaps we should try another approach. Not negotiation as superiors, not threats, but honest communication." Ziv nodded slowly. "Yes, we need to understand these humans, and we need to know what they really want." As she prepared a new message to Earth, reports came in of human ships being spotted in systems far from Sol. They were moving faster than anyone thought possible, exploring, making contact with worlds that weren't even Council members. The humans were not waiting for the Council to decide their fate. They were shaping their own destiny among the stars, and changing the galaxy in ways no one had expected. The Grand Council chamber was filled to capacity. Representatives from all 217 species had gathered for this historic meeting. The tension in the air was thick enough to touch. Without warning, the main doors opened. A group of humans walked in, led by Dr. Chen. They were not invited, but no one tried to stop them. "Greetings, Council members," Chen said, her voice clear and confident. "We thought it was time we spoke directly to all of you." Head Counselor Ziv stood. "Ambassador Chen, this is highly irregular. Council meetings are closed to non-members." Chen smiled. "Yes, and that's part of the problem, isn't it? Too many closed doors. Too many secrets." She walked to the center of the chamber, where only official speakers were allowed. Guards moved forward, but Ziv waved them back. "Let her speak," Ziv said. "We need to hear what humans have to say." Chen looked around at the hundreds of alien faces watching her. "You all think we rejected your offer out of pride or ignorance. That's not true. We rejected it because we saw the truth about the Council." She pressed a button on her wrist device. Images appeared in the air around her, showing Council worlds, technology, and data. "Your society has been stable for 50,000 years. That sounds impressive. But look closer." The images zoomed in, showing details. No major technological advances in the last 5,000 years. No significant cultural changes in 10,000 years. Your society isn't stable, it's frozen. Angry murmurs filled the room, but many council members looked uncomfortable. The advanced technology you offered us. Chen continued, we already have better versions. Your medical treatments. Our scientists improved them in months. She showed more images, human ships, human cities, human technology. The council was created to bring peace, and it succeeded, but it also stopped progress. Your rules, your careful control of who gets what knowledge, your protection of younger species, it all prevents innovation. The chamber was completely silent now. Every alien was listening. We didn't reject you because we want to be alone, Chen said, her voice softer. We rejected you because we want something better, for everyone. She revealed her final images. Designs for new energy systems, medical treatments that could extend life for all species, transportation that could connect the galaxy in ways never before possible. These are just a few things humans have developed or improved since we learned about alien life. Not because we're special, but because we're free to question, to challenge, to fail, and to try again. Xantor, who had always been sympathetic to humans, stood up. What exactly are you proposing, Ambassador Chen? A new kind of council, she replied. One that encourages innovation instead of fearing it. One that treats all species as equals with something to contribute. One that shares knowledge instead of controlling it. Ziv studied Chen carefully. And if we refuse this revolution you propose? Chen shrugged. Then humans will continue on our own path. But we would rather walk forward together. As the council erupted into debate, Chen stepped back to join her team. An aide whispered to her, do you think they'll agree? Some will resist, Chen replied. Change is never easy. But look at their faces. Many of them are ready for something new. They just needed someone to open the door. And across the chamber, species that had been silent for centuries began to speak up, demanding the chance for a new beginning. The debate about Chen's proposal had lasted for days. The council was divided, with many species excited about change and others terrified of disrupting their comfortable lives. Then everything changed in an instant. Emergency alarms blared throughout the council station. Red lights flashed. Fear replaced argument as all eyes turned to the main view screen. Multiple unknown ships detected entering council space, announced the security chief, her voice shaking. Thousands of them. Configuration matches. The harvesters. A chill swept through the chamber. The harvesters were not just enemies. They were nightmares. A hive mind species that consumed entire worlds, stripping them of all resources and life. The council had fought them centuries ago and believed them defeated. They were wrong. How long until they reach populated systems? Asked Ziv, struggling to stay calm. 3 days at most, came the reply. Our border defenses are already falling. Panic erupted. Representatives shouted and pushed toward the exits. The council, faced with real danger, was collapsing. Silence. Chen's voice cut through the chaos. Everyone froze. Your defense systems are outdated, she said firmly. Your military hasn't fought a real battle in centuries. You are not prepared for this. Ziv looked at her with desperate eyes. And humans are. Chen nodded. We've been preparing for threats since we first looked at the stars. Not because we're warlike, but because we're realistic. She activated her communication device. Captain Taylor, execute Operation Shield. Within minutes, the view screen showed new ships appearing near the council station, human vessels. Sleek and powerful, they moved with incredible speed. 200 human warships are currently moving to intercept the Harvester fleet, Chen announced. 500 more will arrive within 24 hours. The council members stared in shock. Humans had built a fleet this large already, without anyone noticing. We can help you, Chen continued. But we have conditions. When this threat is eliminated, The council will be reformed. No more controlling younger species. No more hoarding knowledge. A new system where all voices are heard. Ziv looked at the other council leaders. They nodded, one by one. We accept your terms, Ziv said formally. The council will change. Chen smiled. Then let's save the galaxy together. Human ships spread throughout council space, protecting key worlds and facilities. Human officers took command of council defense forces, teaching them new tactics and strategies. The harvesters are a hive mind, explained a human general to alien commanders. They think as one, which makes them coordinated but predictable. They cannot understand individual initiative. And that's where humans excel, said Santor, understanding dawning on his face. The human nodded. Exactly. Each of our captains can make decisions on their own. The harvesters cannot adapt to hundreds of different strategies at once. As the alien ships practiced their new tactics, Dr. Chen met with council scientists. We've studied the records of the previous Harvester War, she said, and we think we found their weakness, but we'll need help from every species to make it work. For the first time in thousands of years, the council races worked together, not as rulers and subjects, but as equals with a common goal. And as the Harvester fleet approached, the galaxy prepared for a battle unlike any it had seen before. The Council's military experts predicted the war against the Harvesters would last for years. We will lose billions of lives and hundreds of worlds before we can hope for victory, said General Kraz, the Council's top military leader. But the humans had different ideas. We won't fight the way they expect, Captain Sarah Taylor told the combined fleet. We won't face them head-on. We'll use tactics they've never seen before. The first battle took place near the Orion sector. The harvester ships, large and black like giant insects, moved in perfect formation. There were thousands of them. The combined council and human fleet seemed tiny in comparison. The alien commanders felt fear as they watched the enemy approach. Hold positions, Captain Taylor ordered calmly. Wait for my signal. As the harvesters came closer, something unexpected happened. From behind nearby moons and asteroids, hundreds of small human ships suddenly appeared. They were not warships but simple transport vessels, each carrying a special device. Now, Taylor commanded. The small ships darted between the massive harvester vessels, dropping their devices. These were not bombs but communication disruptors, designed to break the connection between the hive mind. Suddenly, the perfect harvester formation fell apart. Their ships began moving randomly, some crashing into each other. They can't communicate, exclaimed a council officer. They don't know what to do. Now we attack, Taylor ordered. All ships target the confused vessels first. The battle that followed was not the long, bloody conflict everyone expected. Without their hive mind connection, the harvesters couldn't coordinate. Individual ships fought well, but they couldn't work together. By the end of the day, half the harvester fleet was destroyed or disabled. The rest retreated in disorder. Similar battles happened across the galaxy. Human commanders used different strategies each time, never repeating tactics. Sometimes they used technology to confuse the harvesters. Sometimes they used the environment of space itself as a weapon. They're so creative, Xantor said as he watched humans direct a battle. Each commander fights differently, yet somehow they all work together. That's our strength, Dr. Chen explained. We value both individual thinking and teamwork. We don't need a hive mind to coordinate. After just 3 months, the seemingly unstoppable harvester threat was neutralized. Their main fleet was destroyed. Their invasion force scattered. In the council chamber, the mood was one of amazed relief. How did you do it? Head Counselor Ziv asked Chen. Our experts said this war would last for years, maybe decades. Chen smiled. Your experts were thinking like the council always thinks, that there's one best way to do things. Humans know there are infinite approaches to any problem. The harvesters couldn't adapt to our unpredictability. You fought with both great strength and surprising mercy, noted another council member. You destroyed harvester ships when needed, but captured and studied them when possible. You were fierce yet compassionate. Chen nodded. That's another human quality. We can be both warriors and healers. We understand that strength without compassion is just brutality. The council members looked at each other, many seeing humans in a new light. These strange beings had saved the galaxy not through overwhelming power, but through innovation, adaptation, and working together while preserving individual thought. Now, Chen said, I believe we had an agreement about reforming the council. 1 year after the defeat of the harvesters, representatives from every known species gathered on a new station orbiting a neutral star. The old council chamber, with its strict hierarchies and ancient traditions, was gone. In its place was a circular room where all seats were equal. There were no high platforms for elder races, no back corners for younger species. Everyone could see everyone else. Dr. Chen, now serving as Earth's official representative, stood in the center of the chamber. Beside her stood head counselor Ziv, looking both nervous and excited. Today marks a new beginning for our galaxy, Chen announced. The old council served its purpose for 50,000 years. It brought peace and stability, but it also brought stagnation. Ziv nodded in agreement. We forgot that peace is not the only goal worth pursuing. Progress, innovation, and freedom are equally important. Together, they unveiled the charter for the new Galactic Alliance. Its principles were simple but revolutionary. All species would have equal voting rights, regardless of their age or technological level. Knowledge would be shared freely among all members, with no technology being restricted. Diversity of thought would be celebrated, not controlled. Competition would be encouraged alongside cooperation. Many of the elder races struggled with these changes. For thousands of years, they had enjoyed special privileges and power. Now they were equals with species they once considered primitive. It is difficult, admitted an ancient representative from one of the oldest races. But we have seen where our old ways led us, unable to defend ourselves, trapped in old thinking. The younger races embraced the new system eagerly. For the first time, their ideas and innovations were valued. They could participate fully in galactic society. Within months, the effects were visible. New technologies emerged as species shared knowledge and worked together. Cultural exchanges brought fresh ideas to worlds that had remained unchanged for millennia. It's remarkable, Dan Tor told Chen as they watched a group of different species collaborating on a new type of energy system. When barriers fall, progress accelerates. Chen smiled. Humans have always known that the best ideas come from mixing different perspectives. The whole becomes greater than the sum of its parts. Not everyone was happy with the changes. Some species left the alliance, preferring isolation to this new, more dynamic society. Others tried to maintain their old hierarchies, but they soon found themselves falling behind as the alliance worlds advanced rapidly. The harvester threat had also not been completely eliminated. Small groups still existed in distant parts of the galaxy, but the alliance did not respond with fear or excessive force. Mixed teams of humans and other species tracked these remnants, studying them and often finding ways to communicate rather than simply destroy. On the 5-year anniversary of the alliance's founding, Chen stood on an observation deck of the station, looking out at the stars. Did you plan all this from the beginning? Ziv asked, joining her. When you first rejected our offer, did you see this future? Chen laughed. No one can predict the future that precisely. We just knew there had to be a better way than what you offered, and we were willing to try something new. The greatest human quality, Ziv said thoughtfully, isn't your technology or even your creativity. It's your willingness to take risks, to step into the unknown. Chen nodded. And now we all take that journey together. Below them, in the great chamber, the voices of 100 different species blended together, no longer separated by rank or age, but united in shaping a future no one could have imagined before humans arrived on the galactic stage.